welcome to Arabesque. Are Arabs funny? Well, this question we're going to get answered tonight here at the Rich Mix in East London, where we have come to check out some comedians from Arabic countries give it their best shot in the event Arabs Are Not Funny.
You know, the worst example of this was when Sky News, in November 2013, Woolwich, that incident was horrible. And Sky News, I don't know how many of you actually saw the interview, but Sky News actually called me to interview me about that. And I knew things were bad when they would start being a bit too polite to me for my liking. Because they were like, Nabil Abdul Rashid, Muslim comedian of good repute. Can you tell us, as a Muslim, is it okay to do jokes about terrorist organizations? I said, yes, absolutely. I do jokes about Israel all the time. And then
I started going to some comedy clubs, and I liked it, and I had the opportunity to start performing in a kind of non-professional way. And slowly I decided to create my own events. And because I met a lot of very nice comedians, so I said to them, let's do something together. I started doing comedy with an Italian comedy club. And I was the only non-Italian in the whole club, and because I speak Italian. And I thought, I want to do the same. I met enough Arab comedians, I want to do the same thing. But instead of doing in a small pub in Soho, it got bigger, the project got bigger, and here we are with 250 people. Yeah, it's going well. We were really surprised the first time. We were expecting a good crowd, but not to have a sellout. And it worked very well, and everyone was enjoyed it. And so we decided to do a second one, and the second one started slowly and everything. And now we are surprised the week before the show, it's sell out. And till today, till now, people are texting me to get tickets. We will have 5 comedians. Nabil Abdul Rashid from Nigeria. We will have Ahmed Ibrahim from Egypt, Samar Selby from Lebanon. We will have Omar Ramzi, Omar the White Sudani Ramzi. He's famous with this name. And we'll finish with Yassine Belhous, who's coming from France on purpose for this show. I want them just to have a good time, not be afraid of comedy clubs, not to expect all comedy clubs to be a bad experience, and that's it. And they want to come back next time for other shows. The idea is we change the comedian each time to have a different experience, and generally speaking, this is the idea.
So my Facebook comedy page is actually called Single Arab Female, which I thought at the time was going to be a good idea, except now it's turning into some sort of dating page. And the reason why I know this is because there are guys on there liking the page who all live in the UAE, who are posting nothing to do with my comedy. I've got some examples of my favorites here to share with you. So, I'm looking for an Arab woman to love and manage me, please. This is on my Facebook comedy page. If you single, inbox me, beautiful Arab lady. Or my favorite, I need girlfriend, please. I serious. If you love me, add me, please.
A lot of possibly pushing the boundaries with Arabs, ridiculing Lebanese people, because that is what I love to do in my everyday life. My comedy, if I know I'm performing to a British audience or an Arabic audience. For example, when I was at the Lebanese festival, I obviously had to make sure that there's nothing in there about religion, sex, or politics, but I do have some bits that are kind of sexual, and there was one joke that involved a dildo. I do say it tonight, actually, and at the end of the gig, I was giving out business cards on tubs of hummus, and when the Arabs found that the hummus was free, they were going for it, but then when they found out it was from me, they're like, no, please, thank you, take it away. So there was obviously some people that were offended, but when I'm with British people, I find that I have obviously they don't understand the cultural ad-libs and more sort of the language barriers and stuff which the Arabs do get. So yeah, I have to tailor it often. So I have 2 sets simultaneously all the time.
And one thing I noticed about Lebanese and their compliments, right? Very different to my English friends. I lost weight recently. It's not a joke, don't laugh. And my English friends were like, oh my God, you look amazing, well done, fabulous, I can't believe it. Yeah, neither can I. My Lebanese friends, on the other hand, were like, so, how much weight you lose? You need 10 more stone, then you'll be perfect.
Really looking forward to it. I've been so excited. I've been looking for an event like this for so long because they do it in other countries, but in the UK, Arabic comedy is not really something that's really given a lot of hype or radio. So yeah, Arab female comedians that exist in the UK. Secondly, just that they'll have fun and relate to some of my comedy, because I like it when people hear my comedy and they say, oh my God, that's so something I can relate to, or something, especially like around the single female thing, so yeah.
I remember the first time I went to Sudan as a kid. I was just a child. And wallahi, this is true. I was in the airport. They were coming up to me like, what is it? Wallahi, I swear to you, you can't make this up. It has arms like us. Is that gold? Is that? Yeah, I'm a blonde white Sudani. It's messed up. It's like my dad was thinking, how do I confuse my future son the most? Marry an Irish woman.
My mother is Irish, okay, straight off the boat Irish. And my father is a white Sudani. He's an endangered species. And they got married and they produced me in Saudi Arabia, and I went to an American school. So you tell me what I am. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no choice but to be a comedian just for my own sanity. That's why I'm doing this. It's for me, it's not for them. I guess I was just always kind of funny with my friends, I just like to make people laugh in general. And I was living in Saudi at the time, in Jeddah. And Ahmed, he's a big comedian in the States, and they wanted to start comedy in Saudi. And I saw a thing on Facebook, they were doing auditions, and I'm like, this is not for real. Like, stand-up comedy, and we don't even have cinema. Cinema is still illegal in Saudi, right? So anyway, I went to this thing thinking it was all just a hoax, and it turned out to be legit, and I did like 5 minutes, and then the next thing you know, in a week, I was in front of like 1,000 people. And that was back in 2008, and it's just been going ever since.
I'm from Sudan. And he was the white guy. He's like, wallahi, this happened. He's like, I'm from Sudan too. And we hugged and we cried. It was a special moment. It was a special moment.
I'm going to start off, explaining myself, being a white Sudani, and what it's like being a white Sudani in this world. And then I'm going to go into just random topics, just things that I think about, things that I've encountered, just mix it up a bit. I think there's enough people that would get the jokes, and I would have to break it down for those that I feel don't get it, translate them on the spot, I'm a teacher, so it helps. I'm just going to turn it into a class. Right, let me explain that joke from the beginning. I hope for an overall good show. I hope everyone does well. And I hope to enjoy the show myself, because I love stand-up comedy, even if I wasn't performing. I like to just watch and enjoy it myself.
And the confusing thing about beige people is when you try to find out where they're from, you get confused because they don't really know exactly where they're from, right? Like on my way here, I was talking to this beige guy outside. I said, where you from, gangster? He told me he was half Chinese, quarter Italian, third Egyptian, and an eighth French. I added those up, and it didn't equal to one. Like, that guy was physically a top heavy fraction. I've never met a physically top heavy fraction guy before. Started on the open mic scene in London, and most of my stuff I talk about, kind of like life of an immigrant, coming here, trying to fit in with society and stuff like that. The reason why I started stand-up to begin with is because I thought I was funny. I don't know, my mom told me I was funny sometimes. But then I wanted to have a voice, I wanted to kind of, because there's a lot of things happening at the moment, with the Arab world, Middle East and that. And there's always something happening every day. And I think some people need a voice, There's also an art aspect of that, doing stand-up, being on stage and stuff, feeding the audience and kind of educating them at the same time as entertaining them. I like the aspect of stand-up, so that's why I went into stand-up comedy. Here, Egyptian is one of those countries, it's kind of a geographically ambiguous country, right? It's in Africa, it's Arabic, it's Muslim, and it's Mediterranean. And I like that because I can use that, you know, to my advantage in any situation I'm in. Do you know what I mean? Say if I was meeting someone for the first time and they were English, I'll bring up that I'm Egyptian because they always give me credit for things that happened like 5,000 years ago, you know? I've never performed to like a whole room of just Arabs before. I don't know how that's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna go well or not. It can go really, really well, or it can go really, really bad. So, you know, we've always had comedians, you know, especially in Egypt or the Middle East. You know, Arabs like to laugh all the time, but the art of stand-up, we used to call it monologue, but it wasn't the same as here. The art of stand-up is very new in Egypt, and hopefully in the future, I'd like to see it. I hope all the comedians deliver tonight, and I hope that the audience come here and they laugh, but they don't just leave with laughter, they leave with, you know, some education, you know, like they take something from it, you know what I mean? And that's what I hope I tried to do today. It might be a disaster, I might just go and say, oh, everyone boo, just, you know, throw slippers at me like George Bush and stuff, I don't know.
Are Arabs funny?
You'll see it tonight.
My mom is the funniest person alive. Just for her talking English to start with is hilarious, you know. But yeah, I think they're funny.
Arabs are pretty hilarious, and like, it all in their own way, you know, like Saudi humor is different from Egyptian humor, is different from Sudanese humor and so on. But in general, they are funny people, and I think the stereotype does not, show that light, it shows the exact opposite. But they are really, really funny people. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but my cheeks are hurting and my belly is hurting from laughing so much. So it turns out that yes, indeed, Arabs are very funny. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please come with us next week as we roam the streets of London to find you the best of arts and culture events that London has to offer. Until then, take good care.
One day I'm broke and I try to rob a bank for real. My hostages would mock me with my accent if I go and say, everybody, yes, I'm a bad guy from France. So you all get cold, like you are in a fridge. You stop, you cold, you. You mean freeze? Yes, that. Do the thing. Do the guy. Thank you, man. Your English is very good. Join my gang. No, I don't wanna do that. Okay, be careful. If you don't do what I want, I used to kill you. That's not correct. I will have killed you in the future. Good, okay. I buy this, okay. No, but I'm sorry, you are not scary, okay? We are not scared. Nobody is scared because your English is shit, so John, are you scared? No. Mike, you are scared? I'm having a sandwich. Nobody, go back in your country, learn English, and come back when you'll be able to threaten people in an appropriate way, okay? I have a gun. No, no. You do that with your finger. This is not a gun. You mime a gun. You have a finger gun. It works in France. Because we are the country of mime.